When Klay Thompson suffered a torn Achilles a year after returning from a torn ACL, many thought Klay would never be the same. Both the torn ACL and torn Achilles are extremely devastating injuries that have ruined plenty of careers. But despite that adversity, Klay stayed positive and worked his ass off to return to the court. He returned in January, and after shaking off some rust, he finished the season averaging 20 points per game and was instrumental in the Warriors winning the championship. He played excellent for a player missing 2 straight seasons, which earned him the Comeback Athlete of the Year award at the ESPYs. Last season for Klay was awesome, but I believe there's another gear Klay will reach this season. But before I break that down, I'm trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you enjoy the content, please like the video and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. This offseason, Klay has had the opportunity to train, which is something he hasn't been able to do the past couple of years because he was rehabbing from injury. Klay will also have the chance to be a full participant in the Warriors training camp in the coming weeks. Klay should shoot the ball much better this upcoming season. He shot 38% from deep last year, and the scary thing is that was a career low for him. Klay has shot over 40% from deep every other year in his career. This upcoming season, I would expect Klay to knock down his 3 balls at a much higher clip. This will make him an even more dangerous weapon in the Warriors offense, where they like to run him off screens for catch and shoot opportunities. And once Klay gets cooking from downtown, he's one of the most dangerous players in the league. His knockdown shooting is even scarier when you consider that he plays next to Steph Curry in the backcourt. In order to prevent Steph from dominating, teams tend to throw him double teams and traps, which allows Klay to get open looks from deep. Opposing defenses will have to pick their poison, either letting Steph get cooking or allowing open looks from another one of the greatest shooters in NBA history in Klay Thompson. With the good looks Klay will continue to get next season, expect him to be even deadlier in the Warriors offense. And while Klay's 3-point shooting should go up, his ability to score on all 3 levels should also improve. Klay may be known for his shooting, but he's also a fantastic shot creator. A good chunk of his attempts came from the mid-range last season. Klay is adept at creating space for mid-range shots off the bounce, and he's also adept at getting clean looks off in the post. But Klay was pretty inefficient from the mid-range last year. Klay shot just 39% on shots from 10 to 14 feet last year, and in his last season before the torn ACL, Klay shot 48% from that same range. After a full off season of training, I expect these mid-range pull-ups to start hitting at a much higher clip. I also expect Klay to do more damage in the paint. Klay still looked explosive off the bounce last season, which allowed him to get plenty of attempts at the rim. And while he's not a ferocious dunker, Klay was still very good at finishing below the rim. I also expect Klay's layup making to improve because prior to his injuries, Klay was one of the best finishing guards in the league. Guys, it's very scary to think of what the Warriors offense will look like once Klay's abilities to score in the short and mid-range return to career norms. And while Klay's offense is sure to improve, don't sleep on his defense either. Prior to his injuries, Klay was an elite perimeter defender, and he was the guy on the Warriors that was usually given the job of defending the other team's best player. Unsurprisingly, there was a drop-off last season from when Klay used to be an all-NBA defender, but as the season wore on, Klay started to regain some of his defensive prowess, and his defense was a big part of the Warriors shutting down the Boston Celtics and winning the NBA championship. In the finals, Klay played great defense against 2 of the best scorers in the entire NBA between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Next season, I expect Klay's defense to turn up a notch, and once that happens, the Warriors will be even tougher to score against. Andrew Wiggins emerged as the Warriors' best perimeter defender last year, and he did a great job guarding the other team's best player. And with Draymond Green remaining a perennial defensive player of the year candidate, the Warriors could have the best defensive trio in the entire NBA when Klay rounds into form. The idea that the team that was number 2 in defensive rating last year could have another great defender in their starting lineup should have the rest of the league terrified. The Warriors are already a very formidable opponent headed into next season, but the entire NBA should be scared of what will happen once Klay gets closer to the level he was prior to injuries. With Klay's improvements, I wouldn't be shocked if he's an all-star again next year, and I also wouldn't be shocked if the Warriors are back-to-back champions. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Klay will return to all-star status next season? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it and hit that subscribe button. And click this video to see why Patrick Baldwin Jr. is a future all-star for the Golden State Warriors.